Is this really pizza? What is this dish? If you are curious, please join me for this popover pizza recipe. Hi, my name is Trista and I am the Vintage Cookbook Nerd, and I bring you this recipe from a 1980s cookbook. And come along with me, check out the book and how to make this yummy pizza dish. So let's take a quick look at this cookbook where we get the recipe for the popover pizza. It's called Country Cookbook. I guess it costs 25 cents at some kind of sale at some point. But it's from a church in Brimfield, Illinois. And there are lots of different recipes in here, and it's from 1987. This popover pizza is from someone named Joanne Selke. I'm not sure if I'm sorry, it's Elizabeth Helm. I think the name at the bottom is the person that contributed this recipe. So let's jump right into the recipe and see how it tastes. Wow, look how puffy this popover pizza is. I'm so excited. So this recipe begins on the stove, and we are browning a pound of ground beef along with a chopped medium onion here. And I'm gonna do most of this browning off camera because it'll take a few minutes to brown this up. But then I will come back and show you the rest of the, I guess, filling or toppings, but they actually go in the bottom of this pizza. So this shall be quite interesting since it's an upside down pizza. So I will come back when we finish browning this meat and start with the rest of the yummy ingredients. Okay, so now the onions and the beef are all cooked up, and I also drained off any extra fat that was on there. And then we have some tomato sauce, a whole 15-ounce can of that. We're gonna pour that in here along with a chopped green pepper that goes in here too. And then we're gonna add all these amazing seasonings. So we have some fennel seed, some basil, those go in there, marjoram, and of course the exact amounts are in the recipe in the description below. That was some garlic powder, that's my extra addition here. And then some salt, teaspoon of that, and then we're gonna grind some fresh pepper into here. We want about half a teaspoon. Yeah, I think that's correct. All right, actually, I think that was supposed to go in the popover part, but we're not gonna worry about a little extra pepper. But it says basically to bring this mixture to a boil and then stir it 1 minute. So we wanna make sure it gets nice and bubbly, which it is. And then we're just gonna cook this 1 more minute so that the delicious flavors kind of meld and evolve. And then we're gonna go over to the counter and make the popover part of the pizza. And it is smelling amazing. So we're just gonna give that a very quick stir. Oh, and I did forget something, the flour. So there's 2 tablespoons flour. I think that is just to thicken this up a little bit, but it's not too late to put that in there. No worries. Yeah, it just sort of thickens up the sauce a little bit, which will be handy. Okay, that is looking fabulous. So we're gonna take that off the stove, and I'll see you in just a moment over here to make the popover mixture. So next we have a 13 by 9 pan that I accidentally had it greased with some pan spray, but then I looked at the recipe and it said ungreased, so I just sort of wiped it out the best I could because I thought, well, it could be significant in this recipe. So we're gonna put this yummy sauce down here. And I would say if you wanna use Italian sausage in here, if you'd rather leave it vegetarian, you could just have it be kind of a marinara sauce. I had a little casualty off to the side. Oh no, it'll be okay. We'll clean that up. So let's get this put in here, spread about on the bottom in this upside down pizza. Oh, you could also add mushrooms in here. That would be very tasty. All kinds of ways you could make this sauce your own. So we are going to sprinkle 8 ounces or however much you would like of mozzarella cheese on top. I just got the pre-shredded kind. You can shred your own however you like it. Here we are. Okay. I'm gonna probably go a little bit lighter on the cheese because our son is not a huge cheese fan, so I'm just gonna maybe put like half of that on there. But you decide how much cheese you want on there or leave the cheese off, however you'd like. But that is what the recipe calls for. So now we are going to set this to the side, and it is time to mix up our popovers. And please excuse the spill. I'm gonna cover up the spill. All right, but I will clean that up. So I'm just bringing the recipe over here so I can make sure and do this correctly. So we have 2 eggs here. We're gonna put that in a bowl with a whisk. And then we want to beat that with 1 cup of whole dairy milk. And then we also, pardon my reach, we have some oil. I just have a tablespoon of olive oil here. And then, oops, I forgot the salt. So I'm gonna come right back, hang on. It says ½ teaspoon salt, so I'm gonna add it with this little thing. It's about 1/4 teaspoon per little teaspoon there. And then, let me grab my pepper. You know, I think I accidentally put the salt and the pepper in the sauce instead of here, but the sauce can use seasoning, so I'm not worried about that. Seasoning is great to have everywhere. All right, so we've got that. Now we want to add in our cup of flour, and we want to whisk this until it gets nice and smooth. This is our popover batter. It's gonna be really tasty. I love the idea of this type of pizza because, as you can see, it comes together really quickly. It's a nice homemade meal. At least I'm imagining it's going to be. It's what we're having for dinner tonight, so I'm hoping, high hopes. So we get this really, really whisked well. All right. So we are gonna pour this over our pan here, right over the cheese. Get that nice and poured over. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, trying to get all of that. I should have brought a different spatula over, but it's gonna have to be the one I use for the sauce, which is totally fine because all those flavors will meld in there. And then it asks us to sprinkle on some, oops, not the mozzarella, a little bit of Parmesan here. And so I'm gonna be a little bit light with this as well. It depends on how much cheese you want, but I'm just gonna be very, just light with it since our son is not huge on cheese, but he'll tolerate some. Alrighty, so we're gonna get that into a 425-degree oven for 25 to 30 minutes until it's puffy and golden. I'm excited. How about you? I'll see you in a moment. This is the Popover pizza right out of the oven. It's amazing. Look at those layers. Well, stay tuned for the family tasting where we have this for dinner and check it out. All right, we're here to try the spumoni bread.
Crazy looking.
Yes, it looks just like a slice of ice cream, see? But not ice cream.
Oh, I smell. I smell the flavors.
Tasty. I get the pistachio.
Oh yeah,
and the chocolate.
and definitely chocolate. Yeah, you actually get the flavors. This is really good.
I'm approved.
Yum.
Very kind of almost desserty. But yeah, you actually get all the flavors.
It's almost like a cake for sure. Yeah. Good
But
stuff.
Delicious
A lot
spumoni
of fun.
family.
Put a scoop of spumoni on top.
Delicious spumoni flavor.
Yeah.
Really good.
Good stuff. Thanks, guys.